Dear students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you are in the world at the moment. I welcome you to Lecture 3 of Economics for Business, HI5003. And this is about a fascinating topic known as elasticity of demand and supply. We're going to have 3 sessions today. Each one will be around 20-25 minutes in length, so not too long. This is somewhat complex in terms of there's a little bit of mathematical equations in this series. And although I normally don't say this, I am going to ask you to do a little bit memorization of some of the formula. I want you to understand what they mean as well as memorize it. Thank you. In a previous lesson, we learned about the law of demand, and that states that keeping all other things constant, if the price increases, the quantity demanded for the product decreases. But it's when we want to measure the change in the price and the resulting change in demand in a quantitative term where elasticity of demand comes into play. As well, I'd like to redefine elasticity to some extent. For elasticity, read sensitivity. Sensitivity of one variable to changes in another variable. So this is a really interesting slide. And it contains a formula that is very easily understood, but also is one that I'd like you to memorize. And I'd like you to test your memory of it. Because regrettably, I've seen in examinations when people get nervous that they put the numerator where the denominator is supposed to be and the denominator where the numerator is supposed to be, and they don't get the right answer. So please understand it because it measures the sensitivity of the quantity demanded by consumers to a change in price. So this is an excellent example. It's very simple and it's very clear. But the situation we have is that we assume that the price of apples is $3 per kg, and you can buy 6 kgs of apple at this price. So what I want you to do is to put yourself into the example. Pretend that you are the person who's actually buying the apples. Now this is a really interesting slide because what we're able to do is start to quantify the change in price. So we have an equation. Percentage change in price equals change in price divided by original price. So the change in price is the numerator. The original price is the denominator. And the way to remember that is that denominator is down and it's down underneath the change in price. That's the way I've always remembered it. So what we have is the change in price of $2 divided by the original price of $3. We do a simple division, and then we change that to a percentage by multiplying by 100. So that will be change in quantity divided by original quantity demanded. So you decreased your demand by 2 from a previous 6. 2 divided by 6 is 0.33. We change that to a percentage by multiplying by 100, and we get 33.33. So now we have our numerator and we have our denominator. So that is percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in price, 33.33 divided by 66.66, and the answer is 0.5. Now, it's very important to stop at this point, because what this means is that for every 1% change in price, there will be a 0.5 change in the quantity demanded in the other direction. So in other words, if price goes up by 1%, the amount demanded goes down by 0.5%. But let's pretend that a vaccine for the corona apple virus has been invented, and the price has reduced from $5 to $3. And that means you can go back to consuming 6 kgs of apples rather than 4 kgs of apples. So let's work out the numerator. Percentage change in demand. Before, you demanded 4. The change is 2. 2 over 4 times 100. Percentage change in price. It has gone from $5 to $3. So that's 2 over 5 times 100. And the calculation is 50 divided by 4, which is equal to 1.25. Now we can check our calculations by using an averaging method, and that's called the midpoint formula for calculation. And that is, very simply, change in quantity divided by the average of the quantity divided by the change in price divided by the average of the price. Now the equations are on a slide. It's quite clear initially when you look at it, but let me ask you, please go to the tutorial, do some of the questions. The layout in the tutorial is very good. It gives you the answers as well. But what you need to do with these is to practice them and to memorize those formulas.